Ever had a player leave the game unexpectedly? Or change a character's subclass because they weren't having fun? Or have to retcon an entire TPK just because you want to keep playing? In this video, I aim to give you the power to do that, because you can play Dungeons & Dragons with an unreliable narrator.
That's not how it happened. Where's your newfound respect?
Respect doesn't make history.
An unreliable narrator is a storytelling device used when telling a story from a particular perspective. A perspective that might have a reason to change the details of the tale for one reason or another. Maybe they want someone to look like a hero, another, a villain. Think of it like a bard, telling a story in a tavern to the patrons, changing it on the fly as he gauges their reactions. It immediately accounts for any tomfoolery you have to do in the game, and you can write it off as the bard fudging the details. This should be an empowering tool for you and your players. Don't think of making the necessary changes for the sake of your game as ruining the integrity of your story. It doesn't. You need to do it occasionally, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. All you have to do is raise a glass and blame the bard.
Fuck off, bard.
That conceit alone should do wonders for you and your players. And you can leave it there if you want, just using it as your table's get out of narrative jail free card. We could leave it. We could. But if you're like me, this idea gets your narrative wheels spinning, so I'm inviting you to play in my space a little as I explore how else this idea could impact your game. Let's think first about who this bard is. It's probably somebody who has met your party. Maybe you have a wandering bard NPC who keeps catching up with the party but totally isn't following them to ensure that they have the first chance at spinning their exploits into song and legend and subsequently massive profit and acclaim. Or maybe you've got a bard in the party. If it's someone in the party, the narrative they spin at the tavern is likely to favor their specific exploits.
This story's about me, not him. Okay, you got it? All right, we're gonna move ahead. Sorry to slow you down.
One thing to think about, however, is should these characters die in your story, so too does our delicious narrative device. If that happens, either they are brought back to life in an epic quest, or a new bard appears to pick up the tale and finish the great work that the previous bard had started. Does the narrator need to be some swanky bard? Well, while it is flavorful and fits most D&D settings, it's not always the vibe you want to go for. What if it's some traveling author that researched the party's deeds long after they'd saved the world and retired, and the novel is being read by a wise old man to his grandson?
Do you know what that sound is, Highness? Those are the shrieking eels.
Look past that, Grandpa. You read it already.
Oh my goodness, I did. I'm sorry. Beg your pardon.
We're really just riding into Flavor Town now, and honestly, the framing device you choose should just be the one that feels right to the tone of the story you're telling. But here's one final thought for you. What if the narrator is some godlike force within your game?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The strings of the fates, weaving, pulling, cutting at their whims, some unseen narrator is guiding the character's choices and their dice rolls. That's right, with this narrative device, you have created something in your game that has more power than you as the DM. What? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. You're crazy if you do this. I kinda wanna do this. While some think of the DM as the narrator of Dungeons & Dragons, if you let them, the dice can have more narrative power than anyone at the table. This is why they're used in basically every role-playing game out there. If you create some god of fate that's telling the players stories, you've created an incredible bad guy that the players are going to want to defeat, which opens up buckets of storytelling possibilities for you. The final arc of a story having to trick fate itself in order to even stand a chance at overcoming it? Whew. That gives me the good shivers just thinking about it. If you found something useful or interesting in this video, Ben DeHart ended the video like he always had, telling his audience to like, subscribe, and share with their gaming group. He also added some little quip before saying, "See ya." Hey,